All right. I am live. I am waiting for McKenna. Let's see. Hi. Okay, you gotta tell me, am I sideways or I don't know if I'm sideways or not to you guys, or do I look straight? I don't know if I need to turn my phone or not. Hey guys. Hopefully I'm not sideways. Let's see. I am sideways. Oh no. Okay. I need to turn this. Then I'll do it this way. Okay. McKenna says she'll be on just a sec. Perfect. All right. Here we go. I love how the first part of this video is going to be just me sideways. Well, thanks everyone for joining so far. Hey, Ricardo. Hey, Grace. Hey, Christine. Hey, Swati. It's awesome. This is my first live with someone else, so a little nervous, but mainly excited. Oh, here we go. View request. Let's see. Did I do that right? Oh, there we are.
Hello. My face is so red from being outside. Holy crap.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry. Getting home from work. It snowed today and it wasn't supposed to. So here we are. I'm over it.
Oh, no, sorry. I accidentally just paused myself.
Oh, you're good.
Okay. So you can hear me, right?
Yeah. Yep, you're good.
So you're just getting home
You were good to
from
go.
work?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God.
Stupid 9 to 5. But it is over in like 5 weeks.
Yes.
So.
Yes, you were moving to Dallas, right?
Hell yeah, I am. So I'm moving back to Dallas. That's where I'm originally from. But I kind of moved around the past decade and now going home.
Oh, that's going to be so exciting. I'm excited for you. Dallas is fun.
Hey, Teresa. I know. I'm so jealous. I saw Alex's stories too from last night, and I saw Darius was there.
Yes.
From the meetup.
Last night was so much fun. See, that's why I keep going back. It's 2.5 hours away, and I keep going back.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't say it's good, I don't know what does.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I know that Soli's having an event in May, but I think it's going to be in LA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you better drive to that one too, because I'm going to try my hardest to be there. I've kind of landed a couple thousand on trips already this year. So
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, I mean,
I gotta make some money.
Well, I mean, I'm already driving 2.5 hours. What's an extra, 5 or 6 hours on top of that? It's fine.
Totally fine.
I'll definitely be there. Hi, Teresa. That's cool. Well, thank you for having me, by the way. I don't think I would have messaged you to do a live if you hadn't posted on your Instagram story. Like, does anyone want to do a live with me?
You know what's funny is so many people responded to that, and when I reached out and was like, okay, let's set something up, let's do it, what do we want to talk about? I even had it planned with someone, like he did novations and he ghosted, and I'm like, I want to talk about novations. I want to get on these to talk about other people, not about me, but to have like educational. But it's funny because I had a lot of people respond, but not a lot of people follow through.
Yeah.
So thanks for following through. Thanks for giving your word.
Of course. Thanks for pushing me to do this.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. It's out of the comfort zone because like we talked in DMs, like it's one thing to have like a podcast or a YouTube where you can cut out the sideways camera stuff. and then it's another thing to be on a live where like you trip up or you say something or you're like not politically correct and you're like, well shit, now I'm gonna be canceled. Like there's
right?
But it's so good to get out of your comfort zone and really talk because that's the only way that you get better. But I love doing lives. I mean, you watched my one live. I can sit on live forever and just talk.
I know, that was so funny. I was literally just watching your last live while I was getting ready for another meetup that I went to 2 nights ago before Soli's. And it was like the perfect. I felt like I was listening to a podcast.
And I'm like, damn, I should just do a podcast. I really should, but to land money on a podcast right now, not a thing.
You could do it.
Grace, I do want to come to LA. I have a friend in LA. She's my financial coach, and now she's my friend. And she's like, I'll give you the total tour of LA. And I'm like, say fucking less. Like, I'm there. I am there.
You know, one of my best friends lives down there, so that's just another reason to go down there.
Yeah, it is. There's
Alex.
Hi, Alex. But yeah, so I'm super excited. I love talking mindset because what do they say? Like 80% of this is mindset, if not 90% or more.
Yeah.
Of real estate investing. And I'm super stoked because I actually like demolished, like in one bite, read a book about, and I made the post about it. Now I'm blanking. This is the part where in a podcast I could cut this part out. Shit, what is it called? The Millionaire Mindset. It's not that. The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Okay. That's what it is. And it was just obviously all about mindset and specifically like having the millionaire mindset. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about you, but for me, the mindset shift that I'm currently going through isn't necessarily that I can do entrepreneurship and that I can do real estate investing, but it's that I'm worthy of the money that I'm about to receive from that. And so many people think like, oh man, if you're rich, if you have money, you're a bad person. Only bad people are wealthy, eat the rich, whatever. But that book is really good at teaching you like why those old tapes, why those things that are repeated in your head are wrong. So I think and love it. But sorry.
I'm gonna have to watch that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. It's on Spot. I don't know. So many people use Apple Music. I'm a Spotify girly, 100%. But it's on Spotify audiobooks, and that's where I listened to it at. But it goes like through 17 files that replace old money habits and old money thinking and replace it with something new to think about money. So to me, like that's where I'm sitting in mindset right now is the replacement of the lack mindset and replacing it for that abundance and that like worthiness and I am a good person and I'm going to be even better when I have the funds to help people.
Yes. 100% agree. Like that abundance mindset was just such a shift. And then once you make that shift, it's like so many more opportunities. I feel like you just start seeing so many more opportunities everywhere. And it's crazy because one of the things that I had to adjust to was that, okay, we're supposed to solely talk about how you want to create your competitive advantage, reach out to other investors in the area. But I was kind of nervous to reach out because I was like, well, if they're investing there, why would they want to help me? Like, wouldn't that make me competition? But that was the small thinking, right? I needed to change that. And when I started thinking, no, there's plenty of properties for everyone. And that's kind of like when you're starting out, you're just kind of getting used to that when you start talking to other investors and everything, because you realize everyone's so open to talking and teaching you and just like, and yeah, just sharing everything that they know and not gatekeeping, because there's plenty out there. There's plenty of properties for everyone. And they're not worried about competition because it's better to make that connection and network than it is to gatekeep to yourself and like not share anything. I feel like that holds people back a lot. But once you get used to like, oh, there's enough money out there for everyone. I mean, that's the whole thing about private money lending, right? You can scale only so much with your money. But when you go out and use other people's money to invest in real estate, that's when you like are able to scale even further.
And it's and I don't know, like the abundance thing is like the universe is going to provide for you in whatever energy you give. So switching over to that abundance, that gatekeeping is going to give you gatekeeping energy. And one thing that like proves, because I'm about like A plus B equals C, like I want to know the equation to make it work. But I mean, it is something that you can A plus B equals C, like having that abundance mindset plus working with others and collaborating over having that competition equals both of you raising together. Like energies just go up together. And it's seriously like, it's so weird because I would see, and this held me back for a long time, where I would see people who were outside of the investor stance saying like all these people are buying up homes so other people can't buy them and they're going to force us to rent all the time. And it held me back because I was like, what if I'm one of those people? Like, what if I'm someone who's keeping it from someone? Like, no, you just don't want to fix and flip. You don't want to wholesale a house. You don't want to go do the work. It's not that I'm buying up these houses to be a greedy landlord. I have the tools because I've learned them. This is the answer to the equation of me putting in the hard work. But to your point of there's enough for everybody, one cool thing that I've seen and that has kind of calmed my thought process on that is there's all like everything is cyclical. Everything in this life is cyclical. And so you'll find homeowner or like landowner. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Landlords. You'll find like landlords who are tired or who are about to retire, and they'll have their portfolios and they'll sell off their portfolios. So they say like, oh, all these people want to, like, not necessarily is it going to be that everybody has all these homes and keeps them for eternity. They're going to die. Their kid, like either they'll sell it off so they can retire and go on cruise ships till they die, or their kids will sell it off after probate. Like there's so many different ways that the universe works itself out, and there's no reason to have that scarcity mindset of, oh my gosh, I'm taking a house from somebody. No, I'm making it better. And I mean, like, even within real estate investing, there's the options of like lease option. So if you can't go get approved for a loan, guess what? I have my abilities that I learned and I'm making the money because of the knowledge I gained, and you can have a lease option. Give me $10,000 with the option to buy in 5 years, and you can build your credit and go get a loan and buy the house off of me. So there's so many options if you just look for them, you know?
100%. And I love that you brought up the idea of like where you fix it up for someone else to be able to live in, because like you said, the average person isn't going to want to buy the fix and flips or like the burrs that people are buying, if investors are buying up and fixing, so people have nice safe places, updated electrical, updated appliances, just safe places, removing the mold, all of like the dirty stuff that people don't want to deal with, their investors are dealing with, and they're providing housing, like better housing for people to live in. But also, that you brought up for the mom and pops, there are I see so many videos about mom and pops who are retiring and that they want to, pass over their business or sell their business or their homes or real estate. And I feel like investors, we are giving them the opportunity to do that because a lot of them don't have people to pass those down to, or maybe their kids just aren't interested in real estate, or they have their own business, and maybe their family doesn't want to take over their business or take over their real estate portfolio. So by us either doing like creative financing, like seller financing or sub two, we are giving them mailbox money to be able to retire, to step back and be like, yes, I created this successful business, and now I'm going to take it over and pass it down, knowing that it's going to survive and it's going to, thrive. But while I still have the money coming in every month to be able to, take care of the family. And a lot of people don't have that opportunity to step back because they don't know about seller financing or sub two, and so I love the idea of like finding someone who has a problem and then being able to solve that problem for them. And I feel like a lot of people don't see investors like that, but I feel like that's what we do for like 80% of the time. We go in and we solve someone's problem. It's not like we're taking houses away from people. No, we're literally solving problems here.
And we're providing value.
Yes.
Like the reality is we're providing value, and I think this is not me being a man hater, but I'm gonna say this because it is a male dominated industry. Is I venture to say until recently it was like the dude bros, right? Like going and knocking doors, calling, be like, yo, bro, you want to sell your house? Like just that like aggressive energy. And now it's turning into, and so many people are seeing it this way, of it's not that aggressive, like what's the lowest you'll take? It's how can I help you? How can, like, what do you need that you're not getting? And it goes back to that abundance. Like I have, so I give. And because I give, the universe gives back. So yeah, and that's Alex's, that she struggles with it too. I really do like it. I mean, it still comes back. It's residual for me that I do feel like I'm part of the problem. And like, oh, investors are buying high, like investors aren't buying high, but like we're buying high cash offers. So that's what's driving things up. And honestly, it's just the world is driving it up.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Inflation. Yep, inflation is killing everyone right now.
Yeah, it really is. But that's why we invest, because it's inflation resistant.
Yes, 100%. And so other than the dealing with the problem of overcoming that thought process of not being part of the problem, is there anything else, like just starting out, that you're feeling like you would want to work on or struggle with, or are just trying to adjust?
Yeah, so I am definitely one for vulnerability. So I'll say something that's very vulnerable and something I've noticed. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, just understand that you have to break. So two things. You have to break a 9 to 5 mentality. Like currently I'm in this process of breaking it because I'm going to try and make it work without a 9 to 5. I have nothing lined up when I go to Texas in April. I have a decent amount sitting in my savings that I can drain. I don't want to, but I can. But I'm trying to like burn my boats and go full in and think like, okay, that like I have to make it work by the time that account hits zero, because I have to make it work. But I really don't want it to hit zero. But the way that we are programmed and conditioned to think as Americans, and I'm sure other places, but I only know America, is like people tell you what to do. People let you know what your job description is, what you are meant to do, what you're not meant to do, like who to bug, who not to bug, like the office stuff. And so getting away from that and really realizing that this is your world and this is your creation and it can go any which way. Like when I first started with investing, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to buy and hold and I'm going to yada yada. And I still want to do that. But now that I'm breaking out of that, someone needs to tell me what to do. Someone needs to tell me what to say. Someone needs to give me all of the steps before I take action. Mm-hmm. I'm now like, okay, I need to wholesale. Because for me personally, I don't have the capital to go out and do things that require a lot of capital to do them, like marketing and stuff. So my strategy shifted, but it's because I'm breaking out of that, like someone needs to tell me what to do. I'm like, you know what, this is my creation.
Yeah.
And if for the first 8 months I want to do this, no one can tell me no. No one can tell me that doesn't work, because it didn't work for them, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work for me. So that's a mindset that I've been shifting. One that's been a struggle, and it's weird because I'm so outgoing and will talk to anybody, but one is speaking to people and trying to make connections. And it's this mindset of feeling like I'm not good enough for some reason.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes. That, and just like feeling like I don't have worth business wise, so I'm not worth talking to. And it's a big struggle, and that stems from like a lot of childhood stuff. Like I can pinpoint it. Like when I first started feeling it, I was like, ooh, I need to talk about that one in therapy. That one hit really strong. But it's like being a kid and not being accepted as a kid because I was so outgoing and no one knew what to do with me. But so that's really like the one that I'm working very hard on over the next couple of months, is like, okay, I know I'm worthy. I know that I have value. I know that I'm not stupid in this. I've been looking into this stuff and studying and networking for a year and a half. But overcoming that hurdle of just feeling that way. So that one's a hard one because it's so deep rooted. But that's a big one for me, because I think once I get over that, that's when I can really network and really get into some good deals.
No, 100%. I am very familiar with the imposter syndrome and still deal with that daily. And it's a weird kind of, I feel like, what's it called? I'm trying to say limbo to get under or get over.
Yeah.
But one of my friends, she's has her own business, and I'm constantly like voice memoing her. I feel like I'm like for me, when I started creating content online, I was like, who am I to be creating content? Who am I to be putting stuff out there to teach? And then like when my first real estate investor meetup, they said, what do you have to offer? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. What do I have to offer? But it feels like you don't have anything to offer, because you don't have, a bunch of experience like these other people do, and you're just completely new to the field. But honestly, it's like we all have something to offer. We just have to dig deep and find it. Even if it's just being good at communicating with people and being networking. If you can do that, just go to all the free meetups, meet everyone, and then eventually you'll have those connections. Like, you're not gonna, you might not feel like you have something to offer at first, but as you keep going to meetups and as you continue to meet Ricardo, meet more people, you're gonna like figure out what you're good at, but you have to go out and figure it out. Because if you're at home and you're just like, well, I'm not good enough, so I'm not going to go out and do anything, then you're not going to learn what you're good at. And it's crazy because on Soli's thing, she'll ask people like, on the name tag that says your name, then like ask me about blank. And someone put like frozen vegetables one time, and that completely opened up a conversation. I'm like, what? Like, you never know who you're going to meet, and never know what they have to offer, and never think that you don't have anything to offer, because McKenna, you specifically have a lot to offer. And just like your personality is a vibe, and I love talking to you already, even though it's like literally the first time we're ever talking on, like, other than in the DMs on Instagram. Like, I feel like I've known you forever, and like that's not a lot of people have that quality. Like, that is a skill right there, because it's just like your personality is just, it's, what do you call it, contagious. It's like, I just want to keep talking to you.
Thank you.
And don't worry, guys, we won't go over an hour, maybe.
Probably not. No, but I want to bring up something, because I think that what you said is super important to remember. Because when we think of what value we bring to others, we think of, and specifically in real estate investing and networking with people to bring them value, we think of like, I don't have the capital to private money lend. I don't have the deals yet. I don't have the skills and the knowledge and whatever. But the reality is, we bring aspects of ourselves, like our personalities. I don't know if you're still in here, Alex, but like, I've messaged you a couple times, but like, you have a calming vibe that I love to be around, right? Like, you have this calming vibe that I love talking to you, because you make me feel like everything's okay. Like, that in itself, that's value. And so to think I don't bring value, like, we all have something. Like, you have the most bubbly personality, Miranda, and you have that like outgoing too, whether or not it's total confidence or it's just whatever, like, we have so much value as ourselves. Just in society and in the world we live in, we've been taught that that's not good. Yeah. That anything you have positive to say about yourself is not good. And that's a whole nother rate I could go off on.
Right? If someone compliments you, what's the wording? Just look at them in the eye and say thank you. Don't go off and be like, oh no, I'm not, or oh,
I know. Trust me, you literally just like went off and gave me compliments, and that's what I'm telling myself. Just say thank you. Don't deflect it.
Yeah.
Don't deflect. Just say thank you and just move on. And even, man, what was I reading? It might have been the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. One of the files. It says to not even say like thank you and you're this. Like, I like your shoes, thanks, I like your lipstick. Like, not even to do that, because that's a deflection of a compliment, and the universe sees that as a deflection. So just to accept it and to like just take it.
Yeah.
So, but still, like, obviously I'm gonna give you compliments, but just let the universe know I'm not deflecting it. Yeah, I agree, Alex. Miranda's energy is contagious.
Thank you, Alex.
Which is why we all need to get together.
I know. I'll either fly to Dallas, or you could fly here.
I'll fly there too, but Dallas is pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, when you come here, you gotta tell me.
Yeah, no, I will for sure.
Oh, so many people joining. I'm so excited. Well, okay, so for when it comes to real estate and the imposter syndrome, something I've learned too is that when you are trying to be confident enough to take the steps in order to choose your market or put an offer in, it's like the best thing I feel like to help overcome that is to join a community. And because if you're just in your head and you're thinking to yourself, and you don't have anyone to combat that thinking, and a community, I feel like, is everything when you're starting out, because it's like when you have a question, you don't have to just go figure it out on your own. Like, you can figure it out on your own, and then you can go and ask that question. And whether it's a Facebook group, following people on Instagram, or joining like State Investor Academy. Like there's so many like masterminds and academies that you can join nowadays. It's amazing, and I feel like there's more resources now more than ever to help us get over that like imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. And so it's like if you're sitting there and not know, if you're struggling with imposter syndrome and you don't know how to get over it, one, fake it till you make it. Like I saw this thing, it was like, no one's gonna not know you're not confident in yourself other than you. Mm-hmm. It's like you can't tell when someone's faking confidence. And eventually, like when you, and it's like what you said earlier, like what energy you put out, you get back in. It's like even if you're not feeling happy, just smile, because eventually you will feel happy. Mm-hmm. And it's like when you're working on building up your confidence in this like real estate world, it's like just smile, nod, be confident, even if you don't feel it, and eventually like you will get there. Mm-hmm. Because it's just everyone starts off at zero. Yeah. You know, it's not like you're born with 5 rental properties. Yeah. I know some people inherit, but you know.
Yeah, some people are. Yeah, but they still have to put in the work to learn it.
Yes.
You know, like you, mm-hmm. even if someone literally called me right now and said, I'm gifting you this, it would teach me nothing. You know, and so, mm-hmm. and it's those things that make you confident and that make you better.
Mm-hmm. And surrounding yourself with the right people. Like just being able to have conversations. Like I'm part of 2 accountability groups right now. One that meets every week and one that meets every other week. And we just talk for an hour on Zoom. Like what are action items, if we've completed it, what's the biggest challenge we had this past week, and then what we're planning on doing next week. And just that simple like 1 hour conversation with 2 or 3 people has kept me on track and has made this whole real estate world and investing out of state so normalized to me. And especially because a lot of people don't have family or friends who are investing in real estate. So the best thing you can do is, even if it's just one person, get that person in your life, go find them on Facebook, on go to meetup.com, like the app called Meetup, go to a local meetup around you and like swap numbers, download the Blink app before you go, because that helps. It's like a digital card. You can put your phone number and Instagram and email on, so it's easy to keep in contact with the people that you meet. But it's like the biggest thing you have in common with someone is that you have a passion for real estate, and just right there, that is going to spark friendship or connection or just being on the same level as someone. And that alone, getting that constant conversation in your life, is gonna help you get over the imposter syndrome. I can't talk, you guys.
I know. Mercury's not even in retrograde. I just want to point that out. Oh, no. There's like nothing's in retrograde. Oh my god, I'm done.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what that means.
So when Mercury's in retrograde, I won't get into the nitty gritty because no one actually believes this stuff, but it causes like fumbles like that. So I always say, like, if I mess up, like, oh, it's because Mercury's in retrograde.
Oh, that makes sense. My friend always kids when there's a full moon that her life just goes to crap.
That's not kidding. That's 100%.
I'm seeing
Don't get me into my woo-woo stuff because we'll go on for hours.
That's so funny. But if
go ahead.
Jinx. Oh, sorry, I don't know if it's good or bad.
You're fine. So one thing that you said it reminded me of something that I think people need to remember too. This was taught to me like 10 years ago, and it comes to mind all the time. And it literally was told to me in passing. Like, it's not that anything happened, it's that a friend said, some lady told me this, and it stuck with me forever. So always talk, even if you don't know why you're talking, because you never know what kind of influence you have. But she said that this lady told her, if you don't like doing something, just know that you only have to do it once. Or if something happens, just know you only have to do it once. Mm-hmm. So in like talking to sellers or talking to agents or whatever, if you have a bad experience, lean on the fact that you never have to talk to that person again. Like, you only have to do it once. And that always gets me by, of like, if I'm making that like daunting phone call that I'm gonna try and like talk to this person, if it goes bad, guess what? I never have to talk to them again. Never have to think about them again. They're probably never gonna think about me either. Like, as important as you are in this world, you're not that important in other people's worlds. And so many people are thinking about themselves that they don't have time to think about you. So I think that's something too that we sit here, we overthink of, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna embarrass myself. No one's thinking about you. I hate to tell you,
So
but
true.
no one's thinking about you. Like, no one's gonna be like, oh my gosh, did you see at the beginning of this Zoom at this live? It was silent. Like, no one's gonna think about that, right? Like, and if they do,
I'm gonna
it's
think about
because
it.
it triggers something in them that hurts. So, like, nothing that they are saying, like, someone can make fun of you, and it's just because something in them is
Mm-hmm.
unhealed. So either they don't care about you, or they care about themselves and they project it
Yeah.
onto you. So that's my little rant about feeling like you're not good enough or feeling embarrassed to do stuff.
Well, it's funny because two things. Like one, it's like if you look at someone and you're like embarrassed for them or something they're doing makes you cringe, that actually tells you more about yourself than
Yes.
about them. And you have to look
Yes.
at yourself. You're like, if that person's saying something and it's like making me offended or I am like really cringy about that right now, why is that making me cringe? Because it has nothing to do with them, but it has everything to do with me. And that now, if you can ask yourself, okay, why do I hate this person for doing this, or why did I get offended, or anything, it's just that it's gonna be more reflection on like you than them, and that's when
And
you
then
can
you dig up stuff and you're like, crap.
yeah.
You're like, crap.
80% comes from
That's a
childhood, I
childhood
swear.
trauma. Dang it.
We can talk about childhood another day. It's a whole other thing.
I know, it's true. But yeah, it honestly is. And it's like that thing that I said in my other live of like being offended is a choice. Like you choose to be triggered, you choose to be offended, you choose to feel like something's cringy. And like if you don't have self-awareness, you're gonna think it's about them. But reality is, like you said, it's about you. It's not, and that just turns back around of like no one's thinking about you. You're not thinking about anybody either. You're
Yeah.
thinking about yourself, whether you know it or want to believe it.
Yeah. And if you're ever networking with someone and they say something that does trigger you, one, it's like identify what the trigger is and why it's triggering you. And I forget which book I read this in, but it's called like an iceberg, right? And it's something that doesn't seem like a big deal on the surface, but then for some reason it's just really triggering you and it's turning you into a bad mood. And like that's your iceberg, right? And if you learn what your icebergs are in life, first is to identify it. Second is to work through it and to figure out why it triggers you and if it's possible to resolve it. Because if you are investing in real estate, I'm like, okay, wait, I don't want to get too off sidetrack. I'm like, how can I relate this to real estate?
It's mindset. It's fine. This is mindset and real estate. We can. This is our life. Damn it, we can do what we want.
But it's like if you're gonna go and like going like trusting a real estate agent, for example, is triggering to you. Like you can't put your 100% trust into your team that you're building. Like you gotta ask yourself why. Did something happen? Did someone burn a bridge with you? Where did that disconnect happen? And then you also have to recognize that just because it happened once doesn't mean it's gonna happen again. And also to like accept that one, you're never gonna trust, especially starting out, you're never gonna trust your real estate agent 100%. Like I'm sorry, like I just know when I bought my first property, because it's like they make a commission, and anyone who's making money off you when you're starting out, in the back of your mind you're gonna be like, okay, do they have my best interest at heart? And if you have had no like connection with them in the beginning, there's just this total stranger that you're just starting to meet and building that relationship with, it's okay if you don't trust them 100%, as long as they're being patient with you, answering your questions, walking you through it. It's like you don't have to trust them 100%, but you do need to feel supported by them 100%, because that trust is going to come with time and building. And the only way to build that relationship is through buying like properties through them. Because I know we just talked about that in one of my accountability groups. Someone was dealing with a real estate agent who didn't want to put in like a lowball offer, and I was like, I don't know. First, you got to ask yourself, is this the right person? Is this the right real estate agent for me? And two, just open up that communication. Figure out why. Like, do they want to protect their, does it I can talk, I swear. Do they feel like it's going to hurt their reputation to put in this offer, or is there another reason? Do they know the market better than you, especially if you're like living out of state? If there's something that is triggering you between communication with a real estate agent or broker or anything, just dig deep. Like have them be like, look, I'm a visual person. Tell me like A plus B equals C. So you're just telling me C right now. Can you tell me like how you got there? And just to get that visual aspect and to really understand, because that's also how you're going to build trust, is to be able to see the behind the scenes why they're thinking a certain way.
And I think it also builds trust too, that you value their opinion enough to be like, hey, give me your full thoughts on this, right? Like, it's not just something transactional, it's relationship of like, explain to me your head, like what's going on in your mind, why it's this way, and that builds a stronger relationship. And I think to your point of like saying if you're like being triggered by working with agents, is if it is something like you've been burned in the past or something like that, it's essential, and I've learned this the freaking hard way. It is essential that you go and you make those relationships, because a lot of people will be like isolate themselves to heal, but the only way to fully heal, it's kind of like if you have surgery but you don't go to physical therapy. Like, you can heal, but you're not fully healed until you go to physical therapy and work that out. Like, you can't just have knee surgery and then not go to physical therapy, because it's not going to heal properly and it's not going to heal all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you've been burned, we'll go with the agent thing. Like, you've been burned either by an agent or by someone in the past that makes you not trust, but you're working on building trust with people again. I don't know why my light just went off, but you're working on that. The only way to really work on it and to work through that iceberg is to go and put yourself in a situation where you can get burned again, because then your little neuroconnectors in your mind when you don't get burned is, okay, this is fine. So unless you have that like tangible proof, that living proof of not every time something happens, something bad will happen, is a connection in your brain that then continues to heal, and it just gets better and better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, how do you build trust with someone who, like, you're not testing?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're never gonna, unless you're put in that situation again, you're not gonna fully, like you said, build that trust. 100%.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be like 90 or something. And
Yeah.
by the way, Ricardo, that's awesome.
That.
He worked with Dr. Simon, who created the iceberg.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
It's like, it's basically just it's kind of like a metaphor for like,
okay, so that
problem, like
Dr. Simon created it.
I guess that must be his I don't know, Ricardo.
Explain. America, explain.
And Alex, yes, we do not owe them for their time. That's part of their job. They invest time, and if the deal works, it was worth it. Exactly.
So
and it's like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Rock, paper, scissors for this.
I was just gonna say, no, that's 100%. I mean, obviously, you want to be respectful of everyone's time and not just be one of those people who like don't start like taking up their time if you're not ready to invest. But if you're a serious investor, and even if it's like you're like 3 months out, just be honest with them. Like, when I first contacted my real estate agent in Oklahoma, I told her, I was like, look, I'm not ready to invest at this moment, but my goal is to within the next 90 days start putting in offers. And she was 100% okay with that and offered to do like a dry run with me on like certain properties. So when the time came, like I would be 100% comfortable. It's like, as long as you, what?
Are you doing OKC?
Yeah, well, Oklahoma, I'm looking at Oklahoma City and Edmond in Oklahoma. Both of those. Yeah. But what were you gonna say?
I was actually gonna ask that. I was gonna ask, because I don't know. I should know these things. But do you have properties yet?
Yeah, I have 2 here in California. I don't have any in Oklahoma yet. That's gonna be my first out-of-state property is when I buy in Oklahoma. But I have 2 here in California. One that's a long-term rental, and then my second one that I'm living in right now, and I'm house hacking the rooms in it, as well as getting ready to build an ADU on the side that I'm gonna be turning into a midterm rental.
I feel like y'all California investors are so ballsy. It scares the crap out of me. The laws there scare me.
I know.
I don't like California.
And it sucks because it's like it sucks that it's a what do you call it, tenant friendly state, but at the same time I know I'm probably gonna live here forever. I mean, obviously I'm gonna travel and stuff, but California, I'm a Cali girl. I love it. I love the weather. I can't get over it. Sorry.
I mean, like, we literally got like 1.5 feet of snow, so I'm kind of jealous.
I love snow, but I can't imagine living in it. Like, if I want snow, I just drive to Tahoe.
So I was supposed to do like a virtual meetup with my sub 2 people in Dallas on Wednesday. Couldn't go because I was plowing snow from my driveway for 3 hours. 3 freaking hours on an ATV. So
oh my gosh.
So I came to the Amy Majori thing, and then I was like, gotta go because it's snowing faster than I can plow it.
Oh my gosh.
But no, it's bad. But I'm excited for Dallas. One of my coworkers, she was like, this sucks. And I was like, you know where it's not snowing? In Dallas. She's like, shut up. But
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Oh yeah, Ricardo. So Ricardo said, for example, the Titanic hit the top of the iceberg, which is what we all see. However, the iceberg below was what did the damage. It's similar to the root cause analysis. What is happening on the back end is what we can't see. We don't know what's happening on the back end. Yeah, until we identify it. That makes sense. And I feel like that also has to do with, getting to like the subconscious level of things as well. And you really have to put in the work to figure out why subconsciously that is triggering you, because you can only know so much. I mean, if you guys want to get into subconscious things, like listen to Mel. I started listening to Mel Robbins' podcast, and she has this.
I get to see her in April. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, I am so jealous right now.
I'm so stoked.
That's amazing.
Anyways, continue. I got really excited right there.
I'm excited for you. Oh my gosh. I was just going to say that before I realized I forgot to say that because California obviously isn't ideal to invest in, I am still going to take advantage of the fact that I live here. So my plan is to buy a house once every 2 years. That way I have 3 years to decide if I want to sell it. Because if you live in it for 2 years, you don't have to pay up to like $200,000 in capital gains. You can move out after a year, but I like to say 2 years. Yeah, so I have that option of that next 3 years of deciding if I'm going to hold it or if I want to 1031 exchange it and be able to, or just sell it and keep those capital gains.
No, 1031 that shit. You can get a lot of houses outside of California.
I know. But that's the goal, to slowly build in California, and then within that 2-year period to invest in out of states like Oklahoma. Not just, I don't want to just sit and do nothing for 2 years, but
yeah. I'm going to divert this real quick because I can. So with what you're doing, because OKC was one of the places I was thinking for my market.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing more and more people go there, which kind of just solidifies. But I think when we first started talking, we talked because of OKC, and we were like, it's partly, this might not have been you, but partly why is because people aren't investing there yet. Like it's not one like Cincinnati or Cleveland. So are you like, do you need private lending? Do you what's holding you back from pulling the trigger?
So I was recently in limbo because I had to decide on financing between my ADU and financing the property in Oklahoma, and I was kind of going back and forth because I knew that when I got financing for one of them, that was going to affect my credit score for the next, and so I kind of had to figure out which one I wanted to prioritize, and ultimately I decided I'm going to do the ADU because I can do a construction loan for the ADU, which takes how much the house will be worth once the ADU is built. So it's kind of like tapping into that future equity because I don't have enough equity in the house right now to do a HELOC or a HELoan. But because if I do financing through that, now I can still have the opportunity to do a DSCR loan or seller financing or sub 2 for the Oklahoma City. So now that I've decided that, I'm going to take now more steps. Also, I have 2 private money lenders that I'm going to reach out to. I'm actually working on Soli's private money presentation on the Investor Academy that I'm putting that together. So once I have that together, I'll reach out, and then if the private money lenders don't work out, then I'm going to go with the DSCR loan.
Okay.
Or sub
cool.
Or
so the reason I ask is because if we're both looking at Oklahoma City, why don't we partner and do one together?
Ooh.
Because being in sub 2, I have access to millions upon millions of dollars, but I don't want to do it alone. So we could do something where either your agent finds us something, we can pay her, you bring in the lead, I bring in the money, and we get it closed, and I can do, because I have people who will do the paperwork and get everything done, so we can do it and then kind of just JV on that. So then you don't have to wait because we'll have private money. It doesn't affect your credit at all. And then, so we can do something like that. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to, explore that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, let's do it. And this is why we get on and talk, because of shit like this.
There you go.
Let's make some money together.
I'm down. Well, I'm
Alex, we're going to do one too. I don't know where, but we're going to do it. Let's do one in California. Break my anti-California mindset.
Yes.
Let's just fix and flip somewhere in California and make a bunch of money.
I actually just met someone at Stoley's Meetup who does fix and flips in Sacramento.
So what's their name and contact?
I know.
What's their blink? Do they like frozen vegetables?
Right.
I can give them some. I can pay them in frozen vegetables. That's fine. It's gonna be like the generic Walmart brand, but I'm gonna be unemployed in 6 weeks. I gotta be cheap.
Which, by the way, I love that you're taking that leap, and I love that you joined the Sub 2 community.
It's terrifying. Literally all my money. So I put it on a card. I'm not gonna lie. So I haven't paid to be in Sub 2. I creative financed my Sub 2 membership. But I did it because while I'm burning my boats and don't have a job, it's like this like looming demon over me of like, you better get an effing deal because you owe $9,000. Like, you need to get this. But no, I have no doubts. Like, so I'm actually giving myself a month before I move to like simply just like start calling, like start making connections, start calling people, building relationships, getting that going before I move out of here, because I have no bills here really, just my like basic payments on like stupid little shit like Peacock and whatever. Also, Alex, if you or anyone on here or who watches this join Sub 2, let me know beforehand so you can use my referral code. Shameless plug. Yeah, let me know. So I will answer your question, Alex, though, because I love talking about this. So Sub 2 is like, Sub 2 changed everything for me in mindset because it opened up a lot more for me on what's possible. Like, one thing I love is Pace. He opens up to like the different personality types. Yeah, Ricardo. So Sub 2 is Pace Morbies. If you look up Sub 2, you can like that's its handle is just Sub 2 like that. But Pace Morby is the guy who created it. But it's this community of almost 13,000 people, anywhere from like private money lenders, private money partners, people who buy and hold, people who flip, people who wholesale. Literally any facet of real estate investing is included in Sub 2. And not only that, but it's people who will actually help you. Like the amount of people who have reached out to me and conversations I've had, and like I have true friendships in the 2.5 weeks I've been in there that like I've never fostered anywhere else. But my reason for pulling the trigger was actually Jaina, because she had her conversation with us about the MTR operations. And she said, like, I paid 30,000 or whatever, like paid to play. Like I paid to not make the mistakes. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go pay to not make the mistakes. And so I started watching Pace's Facebook videos, and he was like, in the Sub 2 community, you have this. Literally, I'm not shitting you. There's like people who do transactions for you. So like you send it to a transaction coordinator, they do all the paperwork. You have private money lenders that are willing to help you. I go to the next step and I'm like, shit, I don't know what to do. Someone's there to help. Like, it's such a big, like, robust community. It was a no-brainer for me. And people really are that nice. But like, not only have I invested in the community, like in April, I'm going to the Squat Up Summit, which is for Sub 2 and the residual communities. And so like I've invested like money into that, money into the plane tickets, money into the hotels. I'm flying to Dallas in February, just for a meetup that Pace is going to be at, to network with the people I'm going to be with in a month. Like, it's that good to me. So I think it's worth it if you're willing to put in the work, excuse me, to pay it back off. You know, like it's a big investment, but you can like get it in one wholesale contract, you know, like one deal and it's paid back off. So
yeah. And if you guys are interested in learning more about Sub 2, they do have Sub 2 meetups where you don't have to be part like, in the Sub 2 community yet in order to go. You can also look those up too. That on like there's a public Sub 2 like Facebook.
I'm typing it right now.
Okay, perfect. Yes, if you go there, I've seen that there actually happen a lot more like in the towards like the Bay Area. I haven't seen any happen in Roseville yet. So I'm gonna have to message Bree because I know she joined the Sub 2 community as well. And I'm gonna see if she wants to, maybe hold a sub 2 meetup here in Roseville or Sacramento or something. Because I feel like I see them happening in the Bay Area or San Jose all the time, but I just don't see here any in Sacramento or Roseville. So we definitely need some more sub 2 meetups here. But those are great to go to because they're free. Then you can go talk to more people and like get more, what do you call it, I guess, and put more investment into it. Like you're putting your time and your effort into it to get to know it. And then if you're on the if you're on the border, whether you want to like purchase it or not.
Yeah.
But those are
and
great.
I think too, with that, if you join the Creative Finance with Pace Morby on Facebook, it is free. And it's just for everyone. I think it's over 100,000 people in there. But like do deals with sub 2 members as well. Like if you're not ready to pull the trigger, like do deals with me. Talk to me about like what you're doing, and I can see how I can help because I can connect you with people in that community. So you don't have to invest quite yet. Maybe like invest, get your first whatever, make the investment with whatever your deal is, and then join. So it's not something where you have to fork out that money right now. I just did because it was another way of me burning my boats and another way of me just paying to play and getting in there. But I have no regrets with it. I really like it.
That's awesome. I feel like every time I watch one of his YouTube videos or the webinar that he did on the As State Investor Academy, I just am always blown because he takes like pretty complex stuff and explains it in such a simple way, and it's just so easy to understand. You're like, why isn't everyone doing this? But I'm so happy that now it's becoming so much more like accepted because I feel like that allows more deals to happen because the more people hear about it, the more people know about it and learn about it, they're more willing to do the deals themselves. And like teaching sellers like all of it, like how much benefits they get out of it too, is just a great way. I feel like I love that it's like just building and expanding so much.
I do too, because it feels less scammy, because that's one thing that I always think of is like, what if people think I'm a scam? And like, it could, in a world where we're told what to do, we're told how to think, we're told you keep your money in a bank, you get a mortgage from a bank, you do XYZ, that is the only way. They're really good at keeping us in line and compliant. And it's nice to have, like you said, it expanding into people having alternative methods. Like all these people, especially like millennials and Gen Z, who are like, we're never going to be able to afford a house. Bitch, you are, and I'm going to teach you how. Like, you don't have to do this just investing. I plan on buying my first home sub 2. So like there's nothing in me that wants to go apply for a loan anymore because I know I can get someone else's loan.
Our home.
Like I know I can. I don't need my own loan. I'm gonna go get yours that you got in 2020 at 2%. I don't need a 7%.
Oh my gosh, I miss 2018 and 2019 interest rates. That's so nice.
So my biggest like, and I didn't know about real estate investing at this point, but in 2016 I went to go buy a house, and it was in Provo, Utah, when I was still living in Salt Lake, right next to BYU, and it was this it was 3-bed, 2-bath, or 2-bed, 2-bath, or something like that, with an unfinished basement that was plumbed for another bathroom and had space for 2 more bedrooms, right next to a college. 2023, 2024, Kenna's like, what the hell were you thinking? But it was for sale for $214,000. And now that bitch is probably like $600,000 and would be an amazing midterm for college students. But whatever. Biggest mistake I ever made. I got scared and I backed out. And my real estate agent at the time, because I would talk about like how I donated plasma, and I was so excited because I'd get like $900 a month out of it.
Oh my god.
And he's like, he even said, I can teach you how to make that hourly or some shit like that. Like, he's like, I could teach you how to make a lot more money way quicker and way better. And he was definitely talking about investing. He's probably freaking in bigger pockets or some shit. And I'm like, bro, you could have told me that way long time ago and said I had to wait until like 2021. Right. Whatever. He could have freaking JV'd with me on it or something.
You know.
But yeah, biggest mistake. But hindsight's 2020.
they say the best time to invest in real estate is right now.
Amen to that. But that also stresses me out because I'm like, okay, I don't want to jump into the wrong decision because I'm like, oh my God, I have to do it now. Like, I don't want to do that. It's overwhelming.
I know. Oh my gosh, as this article came out where they just recently started lowering interest rates, and everyone was like, housing prices are already going up, and I'm like, no, I missed it. I missed the boat. And I'm like, no, I didn't miss the boat. The boat's still there. The boat's always gonna be there.
And I mean, like, people thought that in 2021, right? Like, people were like, oh my gosh, 2020 is over. It's starting to go up. It's going to go up. Like, there's always going to be private lenders who are going to lend the exact amount that you need regardless. They're making more and more money too on their deals. Like, there's always going to be people who are in distress who need out of their homes, and you can help assist them there. There's always seller financing going to go up. You can negotiate that down. Like, there's always something. And it goes back to having that abundance mindset. Is it's really easy to go like, oh no, I missed it. I missed the boat. But the universe wants you to say, I am where I'm supposed to be. I am making the time I'm supposed to make. And what will be mine will be mine. But you also have to take action, which I'm not doing right now. That's a lie. We're reframing that thinking.
Yes.
I caught myself real quick with that one. I am beginning to take action for the first time in my life, and it feels terrifying, but also very exciting.
Good terrifying. So, what's the word? Everything's hard, so choose your hard.
Yeah, right. Everything is hard. Everything's hard.
And I love that you brought up the taking action part. It's like, what kind of advice would you give someone who's just starting out, because like now that you're taking action, what happened to make you finally take that action? Because I know a lot of people know what to do or what they need to do, but they don't do it.
I'm kind of just sick of my own bullshit, honestly. So I've been doing what seems like something forever. Like, I've been consuming content and I've been learning for so long, but learning, like, you can read a book on how, I think there actually is a book called something like You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar, and it's about this. I need to read it. But like, you can read and you can learn all the terminology. You can look up all of the markets. You can get distracted. You can do everything that you think you're doing to prep, but until you get into it, until you get on the bike, you're not going to learn how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
So the reality is, and people are different, and some people are like, oh my gosh, I can't do it right now. And I don't want to ever be like that mean person that's like, no, you freaking go do it. But like, the second you're afraid to jump is when you should jump. And that's what I didn't do when I first started really like actively trying to get deals and get into real estate. Is I was scared, but I never jumped. And so this is me jumping now. So advice to someone is just jump. Like, go do it and reach out to people who are going to help you do it. Like, I have a friend who I met through Sub 2. His name's Ryan. I was just on a Zoom and through the community, and they were critiquing one of his phone calls. And in the chat, I was like, this is great. This is an awesome bonus Zoom. This is my first time in here. And he commented and said, this is my first time too. And I was like, whoa, this guy's awesome. Like, his first time in, he gave him a call to a seller to critique and see like how he could improve. And like, that's just a rock star thing. Like, that's super vulnerable. And so in his Zoom handle, he had his phone number. So as the Zoom was ending, I just typed in his phone number, called him. I was like, I'm super proud of you. Like, I just like struck up this conversation with him. Next day, he puts me on a Zoom with him, and I'm shadowing him making seller calls, and like watched him talk to sellers for like 2 hours while I was at work.
Oh, that's so cool.
And the next thing we're doing is he's like, okay, now it's your turn. Now we're going to get you on the phone, and you're going to call, and you're going to make the mistakes, and you're going to do it. And I'm like, yes, I am. You're right. I am going to do that. But that's the kind of thing you need. Like, if you don't have the will to do it yourself, find someone with the will to push you off the ledge, because you'll be fine once you jump. You just have to freaking jump. And if you can't jump, get someone to push you, because the biggest regret I have is not taking action sooner and not doing this sooner.
Accountability. Everyone needs that accountability partner, accountability group, because it's too easy to 1 week goes by, then a month goes by, and 6 months go by, and you're like still stuck. And yes, analysis paralysis. it gets a lot of people.
Are you getting comments? You're getting
Are you not seeing
chats? I'm not getting chats.
You don't see it?
No, the last chat I have is when I put creative finance with Pace Morby.
Oh.
What the
That's weird. Did you try scrolling down?
Yeah, it just figured no one loved us anymore. Yeah, I don't have anything.
Well, we're getting comments. Alex says great points and like the head exploding emojis. Northern Neutral says yes, so easy to get stuck in analysis paralysis.
Well, there you go. Thanks for commenting, guys. Sorry I'm ignoring you. I'm not trying to. No, it is super easy. And that's like, and I think too, because you were in an out-of-state investor academy, the Zoom with Pace, where he starts off, and I loved this. This is when he sold me on joining the community. Because I was like, if this dude's going to talk to me like this, it's where I want to be. But he said in it that it's not analysis paralysis, like all the time. Sometimes it's mental masturbation of like, you're acting like something good is happening, but you're not actually doing the thing. Like, you're talking about the thing that's not doing the thing. You're thinking about doing the thing that's not the thing. You're prepping to do the thing that's not the thing. Like, just go do the freaking thing. Go do it. Like, and there's so much free stuff. Like, if you YouTube Pace Morby, whatever, like, I learned so much from just YouTubing. Like, you can call a title company and be like, hey, can you put me on a list of pre-foreclosures? Go call those people and be like, yo, you're about to lose your house. What can I do to help you? Like, you can do so many things. And like, you and I working together, I could get a list for Oklahoma, or we can talk to your agent and be like, hey, will you give us a list of people who live in Oklahoma City, whatever zip code, who have expired listings where they had their realtor, it didn't sell, and now it's done. We can call them, see what it is, try and get deals off of that. Like, there's so many things that you can just go freaking do it. It's easy. You're just getting in your own way.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like what a lot of people do too is that when you're having a hard time taking that action step, it's like usually you give yourself a decision, right? And it's either what you want to do versus what you need to do. And what people don't realize is that when you're giving yourself that decision, you're most likely like unintentionally swaying yourself towards doing what you want to do. You're making it harder to do what you need to do instead of what you want to do. So something that's helped me is that, like, just as an example, like for working out or whatever, before I decide to work out, I'll get dressed in my workout clothes. I'll go sit on the Peloton and then I'll decide to work out. So if you need to go and do like rentals for rookies or something, or that's your action item for this next week is to go do rentals for rookies on the Out-of-State Investor Academy. Like, before you decide to do it, go to your desk, make yourself like a quiet place or whatever you need to do to get to that area where you can just focus 30 minutes on what you need to do and sit in front of the computer and then do it. Make it harder for yourself to choose what you want to do rather than what you need to do. Make it easier to choose what you need to do, because
have you read Atomic Habits?
What?
Have you read Atomic Habits? Because that's straight from Atomic Habits.
I was like, I know I got it from somewhere.
Yeah, that's Atomic Habits. It's so true, though. It is so true, because it really, like, we have this instinctual part of our brain that wants us to have comfort, that wants us to have safety and security and whatever. And the problem is that society has taught us what's secure and what's good is not secure and good. And so we're stuck in this. And that's kind of why, too, like, I now see my most miserable days are days I have to work. Like, a couple weeks ago, it was Sunday morning, and I cried knowing that the next day I'd be at work. And that's when I was like, you know what? I am not going to live the next 40 years like this. I have to do what's hard to be better, because I'd rather get told to F off on a phone by someone who doesn't want to sell their house to me and never have to do it again than to have a boss telling me what to do about a job she knows nothing about. And like that to me is what made it easy. Is I just think about the worst day at work that I have, and they're very common where I'm at, that I have horrible days. And I think about those days, and I think about how great it will be to not have those days here anymore, but to also not go to the next job to think about what those bad days would be like.
Yeah.
My bad days are going to be like, I didn't contact as many people as I wanted to, or whatever. Like, there's going to be hard days in my business, but at least it's I'm working for me, not to make someone else wealthy.
Yeah, 100%. Alex says, each action is a vote towards who you want to be. 100%.
Yep, that's Atomic Habits right there.
Yep. Northern Neutrals is like, I was just thinking of Atomic Habits.
It's synchronicity, yep. Baby. That's the universe. We were meant to talk about it.
I'm sorry, I've read so many books, so I'm like, okay, where did I get this idea from?
I know. And then you don't want to take it as like, I'm so smart and I thought of this, but we really are just an accumulation of the things that we were educated on. So it's fine. But we know we're in the right crowd if all of us know Atomic Habits. Like, if everyone knows Atomic Habits in this room, we're in the right network.
And also, speaking of like the cold calling too, something that like weirdly helped me when I chose my market, right? When I chose Oklahoma, I was trying to pinpoint which zip codes or which areas I really wanted to do. So I actually started calling businesses and I was wanting to do midterm rentals.
Yeah.
I just started cold calling hospitals. I called vets. I called
That's so cool. That's such a great idea.
I called a jail. So I was like, nice, because I wanted to talk to everyone in the city and see if I could come up with any sort of like knowledge or information or relationship, just so I can get to know the area better. Because it's like, I could see like on Furnish Finder and Airbnb, like where like a lot of rentals are, where the need is, but you're not really going to know the town until you talk to the people or the businesses there. And so I started cold calling, but something I didn't realize that I got out of it was practice cold calling. And let me tell you, cold calling is not easy, but I feel more confident now after doing those 70 calls to businesses that when I'm ready to call like about a property, now I kind of know, like, I have that confidence to do so because I got out all of my stuttering and all of the crazy, like, just like being hung up on and like getting butthurt, like, oh, they were really rude to me or whatever. Okay, next call. But it's funny because earlier, yeah, I guess I had a little attitude in some ways. Okay, but honestly, it was kind of my fault too a little bit because when I was like, there's a bunch of hospitals and like different clinics, so I wrote down all the clinic numbers. But what I didn't realize is that every time they transferred me to like HR, it the same person. So I would talk to like the same person 3 times, and she's like, I told you I'd call you back. Yeah, seriously, someone did that, and I was like, oh my god. So just be careful. You don't want to accidentally.
I'll write it down and be like, are you also HR for this? Okay, cool. I won't call you 5 times.
Exactly, and that's eventually what I learned to do.
But one cool thing about that, one, it's really good practice. 2, I'll go back to, you never have to do that again. You never have to call that mom and pop barbecue place again. Like, who cares if they're mean to you? You never have to speak with them again.
Yeah.
If you're living rent free in their head, let them. Like, that's energy that doesn't matter to you. But like, also, you never know if you strike up a relationship with someone, maybe they're an investor. Maybe they're like, you know what? I have $50,000. I don't know what to do with. You're investing. How can we do that? Like, you never know what relationship you're building through stuff like that. So that's a really good idea.
What's funny is that the way that I got all these numbers too, I don't know, there has to be a more efficient way to do this, but what I did is I just went to like Google Maps and I just looked up, I just like scrolled and wrote down business names and numbers, and I would just call each one of them in the areas that I was like looking at, because I had like a top 4 or 5 zip code or areas that I was like trying to choose from. So I would just call like every single business. Like, you never know if a vet is like hires people or gets temporary employees or something like that. But there was one, it was called, I got one good relationship out of the 70 calls. And it was with this, one of the businesses that I called. I did not expect to get a relationship out of it. It was called like the Affordable Housing for Oklahoma or something like that. And I called and they said, oh, that's our construction, or that's like our new build manager. I'll send a message and have him call you back. He was the only person to call me back. And he gave me such great information in Oklahoma and all the areas that are in need of Section 8, are in the need of like single family homes or multifamilies being built. He was so open. I swear, I was like, you an investor?
No, seriously though, like, you don't know what kind of relationship that's going to build. Because like, if you need like something to fix and flip, he probably knows contractors, and like, cut him into the deal. I'll be like, hey, here's $1,000 finder's fee or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you really never know what you're doing and what seeds are being planted that are going to come to fruition later.
Yeah, 100%. And he like gave me his email so I can always like reach out to him again. And like there's supposed to be like this whole report in like the housing report coming out for Oklahoma showing where like the most in need areas are. And he said that he would send it to me when it comes in. And I'm like,
That's
yes,
so cool.
please, thank you. I was like, and I ended the conversation with saying, is there anything I could do with like to help you at this moment? And he, I feel like he wasn't expecting me to say that. So I gotta thank, I don't know, Solely and everyone who's ever told me to like even if you don't think you have anything to offer, just ask. Like, is there anything I can help you with? Because you never know what they're gonna say. And he was totally like not expecting me. I feel like not expecting me to say that. He was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, if you ever think of anything, email me. And if I can't help you, I'll find someone who will.
You know what you should do? How long ago was that?
That was a month ago.
You should call him and ask if he thought of something.
Oh, I like that.
Because even if he's like, no, because he probably was just like, oh, I'll think about it, and like, oh, I'll never hear from her again.
Yeah.
But then he hears from you again, and then he's like, oh shit, this girl's gonna follow up. I need something to help with. And then he'll, like, in that relationship, even if it's just practice, you know, like, even if nothing ever comes of it, give that energy to the universe, and the universe will give back more relationships, more people to help, like, giving that follow-up. Who knows? Maybe he has 100,000 stashed away. He wants to retire, doesn't know what to do. Boom! I can give you 12% of annualized return backed by real estate.
Give Amy Majori's a 4-minute pitch.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know, and I think that's the most overlooked thing is like follow up and call him. Like, there's something about calling. Like, I used to hate it. I'd hate calling people, not like calling sellers or whatever, but just like people, like giving you a call. Like, it just like, why can't I just text you or voice memo you? But
ignore the call, text them.
Yeah, like sorry, I'm busy. I'm like literally laying in bed with a bag of Doritos. I'm not busy, but I've broken out of that where I've started calling people. Like, I'll call people to tell them happy birthday instead of just texting them, because I think that voice to voice contact is so overlooked, and it brings a different energy. Like, it brings different than just like texting. Yeah. And plus, now I hate typing. It takes so long to freaking type.
I know. I actually voice memo a lot now.
I do too.
Alex said millennial struggles.
It's true. Millennial. I know. You notice that millennials too, we like apologize for everything. Like, I used to apologize all the time for sending voice memos, and I'm like, you know what? If you don't want to listen to it, you're not my friend. See ya.
No, I literally. Yeah, me and my friend, we voice memo each other like every week, and every time like the voice memo would get to like 20 or 30 minutes long, I'd be like, sorry it's so long, but it was like every time one of us was like, we were always apologizing. I know.
It's like a whole ass podcast, dude.
Literally, that's what she says. It's funny because I'll open up with the voicemail like, okay, this is my podcast episode, like 5,000 and it's so funny. But we eventually agreed, okay, no matter how long it gets, do not apologize.
Don't apologize.
Neither of us. It's not work. It's not inconvenient for us to like listen to our best friend talk. So,
and it's so much easier because like my best friend has 2 kids. So if I call her, guess what? I'm going to be interrupted by kids. And so I'd rather send a voice memo and be like, hey, this is like a text message. When you can listen to it, listen to it. Also, I like that you can listen to it on like 1.5 to 2, because then like your 30-minute voice memo, 15 minutes, done, you know, like, but yeah, there's something about like that voice contact that is kind of a lost art, and I think people appreciate it. I don't know why my freaking ring light just turns off. Maybe it's the spider that's living in it.
Oh my god, that's right. I forgot about that. Oh my god. This is my first time using this ring light. I got it as a present for my Secret Santa I did with my friends, and this is my first time using it. I like it. It's nice. Nice lighting.
I like ring lights a lot. I used to have a really nice big one when I had a YouTube channel.
You used to have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I did. It has like, I only have like 100 subscribers, so it's nothing crazy, but I'm actually going to start it back up and do like ground zero and like record myself making calls. And because I think a lot of people are like, where do I start? And people can tell you who are successful, but like, I want people to see from bottom up. Like you can go back to 2024 and see when I made my first call or whatever,
Yeah,
you know.
no, I love that. Alex says, looks good, tell us more.
Looks good, tell us more. About what?
YouTube channel, I think you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Here's my thing. I'm too bougie. I'm like, I have to get a camera. I have to have the good lighting. And I literally could do it on my phone, but I'm like, the audio is gonna suck. And it's not gonna be as clear as other, like, I can't spend thousands of dollars on this stuff, but I sure as hell want to. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I need some kind of outlet. Like I either need a podcast or a YouTube channel, and both of those cost money.
Facebook Marketplace.
I know.
On there.
Old, just like buy a cheap one on Amazon. What I want is one of those, like
Yes,
the
I've
microphones
seen
from TikTok.
Yeah,
I need
people
one.
have those. I don't know what they're called though. Are they just mini microphones?
I guess, yeah. I mean, now that we said it, our phones are gonna hear us and we're gonna see it. But
Northern Neutral.
Yeah, there's some nice ones.
Northern Neutral says, "Love that idea. We always see the results of the success and not the learning process."
Not the learning.
Yeah.
Like I'll film myself crying for all I care. Like y'all can watch it.
Yeah. I've thought about writing a blog or something just to document like once a month or once a week whenever I have something like share that I've learned throughout this whole process. But podcasts, and I feel like just recording yourself is just so much easier because you can just say it all versus you can't.
It's the voice memo thing.
Yeah. You can't write a blog that's 5 pages. No one's going to read it. But you just have so much to say. But a 10-minute video or 30-minute video.
And the way I talk is so like emotional that like I can't get that into writing. I need to get it into like actual speech, even if it's not just video, like actual speech. So we have the same initials, so I feel like we need to start a podcast.
I literally was thinking the same thing. I was literally
okay, I'm annoyed. So Sully says she's starting a podcast, right?
Yeah.
I gave her the effing name for her podcast, and now I'm mad that I gave it to her.
What is it?
I don't know if she's gonna do it, but like when I said it to her, she was like, "So are you talking about you starting a podcast, or can I use that name?" I was like, "You can use it. I'm not gonna start a podcast." But it's what is it? Like something like the Modern Wealth Podcast or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Instead of like, because it like she wanted it to be not only like real estate investing, but like health and stuff. And Modern Wealth kind of encompasses like for me, I want wealth not only for like my horses and stuff and to have cool things with them, but so I can afford organic groceries and like so I can eat well and whatever. And that's kind of what I see Modern Wealth as. So that was hers. But if any one of you steals this next one I think of, I'm gonna come personally shank you, just for the record. But I was thinking of naming a podcast the Wealth Code instead of the Health Code.
Okay.
So that was kind of my second one, is like the Wealth Code, and it's not a podcast yet, but I don't know if I don't know. I want it to, there goes my light again. I want it to be like light and fun at the same time. So I don't know.
I love that. But I'd be definitely open to doing a podcast with you. My friends always say I should do a podcast, and I'm like, should I?
I saw on a reel or something, and someone was like, if you send your friends voice memos, you're destined to have a podcast. And I was like, bitch, that's all I do is send voice memos.
Yeah.
I don't like texting anymore. I hate it. Like I will dictate and then say, sorry, I'm speaking. Sorry for the typos before I'll actually type a text message out.
Oh, Alex says y'all should be on my pod. You have a podcast?
You have a podcast?
Tell us more.
Hold on. Alex, how do we make you join this?
Yes. Alex, can you join?
Can you send us her? I think you can invite her. I don't know how, but I'm not the host, so I can't.
I'm inviting you right now.
While you're doing that, don't talk. I have to step away.
Okay.
But y'all can talk. Just talk about that.
Oh.
Hey, Alex. Welcome.
Oh, did it kick McKenna out?
Oh, no. She said she'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Something real quick, but she'll be back in a minute.
Nice.
Thanks for joining.
I've never been on a live, so this is cool.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Same first time.
Yeah, so my podcast is called Racy Friendship.
Wait, say that one more time.
The podcast is called Racy Friendship.
Racy Friendship?
Yeah, so RACY. But it was kind of like a play off of friendship is like a roller coaster. There's a lot of ups and downs, but it's all worth it. So I interviewed a lot of my best friends and just people around my life and asked them about their experience in friendship.
Oh, I love that. She said our podcast's name is Racy Friendship, and it's all about the roller coasters of friendship, like the ups and downs. And you said you interview like friends and family and things like that?
Yeah, so after one of my good friends passed, I was like, oh, I really wanted to, memorialize her in some way or like kind of capture the beautiful memories that we all have as people and put it into a podcast that hopefully will last forever or until I stop paying for hosting. And so, yeah, it started in the pandemic and then I haven't touched it since, but you guys are inspiring me to do it again.
What I'm hearing is we should just all do a podcast together. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I can do the editing. I love doing editing.
Cool. Aww. You can definitely take that.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's amazing. This is episode 1 of Wealth Code.
I know, and it doesn't have to be Wealth Code. That was just the second thing that came to mind. But we can definitely come up with something cuter.
Well, whatever it is, you should just buy the domain or get that Instagram handle. Just like get all of them.
Mm-hmm. That's smart. Swathi says, "How do you come up with such great names?"
Me? I just think of things and hope they work out.
I love it.
They're not all golden, but some are. But yeah, I loved Modern Wealth because it's MW, which is my initials and your initials.
Like my initials.
I'm like, Sully, if you don't start this podcast, I'm taking my name back.
Yeah, we're gonna need to send her a what do you call it? DM. Be like, so are you taking that name?
We've talked. You seem a little busy, so let us take this.
Well, that name doesn't feel that doesn't seem to be what she does, right? Like she's gonna do like more wellness or
yeah, and so that's why. That's like when I pitched it to her. I wasn't really pitching, but like it was the idea of like it all encompassed of like wealth being not only monetary, but also like your health is your wealth, like stuff like that. So that was kind of that. But I mean, like she's already made the Instagram and everything. Like I think I'm the only follower of it, but
I didn't know she already made the Instagram. I'm like,
I don't think anyone really knows. I just kind of looked it up because she said, "Oh my gosh, the Instagram's free," and then made it. So I went.
Then she just got it. Yeah.
Oh. What's the name on Instagram?
I think it's the Modern Wealth Pod or something like that.
Okay.
Everyone's gonna go follow it and just be like, "What the hell?"
I love it. I'm gonna do it. It's just to get off.
For cat as the profile picture.
Oh my gosh! Of course it is. Sully's hilarious.
I'm so excited to meet her in person, though. Like, I'm so jealous that y'all get to hang out with her so often.
She holds the best meetups. 100%.
So adorable too. She like came up to me and just like grabbed my arm, and I was like, "Did you know I was just talking about you?" She was like, "I had no clue," and she was like so helpful, like so attentive, so present. I'm just so like amazed by her energy. And then she like got on a plane and went to Denver or something. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, she's in Denver now. Which it's so weird. And I don't know if I'm the only one who feels this way, but like I have friends now, people I am like associated with like 200, 300, 350, like high 100K followers. And I'm just like, none of it matters. Like so many people idolize the like influencers and stuff. And I'm like, they're just freaking people.
Yeah.
Like none of that matters anymore. And it's understandable like why people do it because they think it's something.
Yeah.
But like it's weird to me how many people I know.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I hear people say quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Networking with the right people.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Miranda, you met Darius yesterday, right?
Yeah, I know. It was so funny when we met him. I was like, I feel like I already know you because we just communicate through like Instagram.
But he seemed like super like down to earth, like so different from I mean, I think his Instagram is like very confident and like catchy, but then like meeting him in real life, he's like super down to earth, super humble.
100%. That was nice. I didn't get to talk to him as much as I wanted to, but hopefully at the next meetup. I told him like next meetup we have to like do a TikTok or a reel or something, do something. That'd be fun.
I think if and when we do have the Out of State Investor Academy meetup in May, that there should be something, because I talked to Sully about this too, of like having some kind of like photo op, because I think one thing that is a struggle for me for posting on Instagram is like I only have selfies, and I said that to you right now. I was like, I need stuff that's not selfies, and I have a friend who's a photographer in Utah, and I'm doing a shoot with her. But like, I feel like if we did something where a couple of us like went off, and not even necessarily a professional photographer, but like each other, like we need to create content, like go out into the city or something and dress up, take cute pictures that aren't selfies, and actually have stuff to like post, like this is who I am, put it with other things. Like I feel like I'm so unprofessional with that stuff.
No, 100%. And if she does end up doing the meetup in May is going to be in LA, my friend who owns her own business too is also a content creator. I can ask her for referrals because she has gotten the professional pictures done before and they've turned out amazing.
Cool.
So I can see if she can give us some referrals for that. But that is happening. It's happening.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if it's just like us three, a couple more people or something, we can split the cost of the photographer and do like an hour session and have like 15 minutes per whatever, do a couple poses, however it works out, and then go from there. But I think it would be cool to do something like that.
Bulk content creating is a game changer for sure. I mean, I plan ahead. I try to, but sometimes I'm really bad and I still create content like the day of posting.
Yeah.
I need to get that. But the key is bulk content creating, because if you just go somewhere for a day or for a few hours and create a bunch of content, you can easily just like create a schedule and then just like days, and that way you have content for a month, and that way you're not constantly finding yourself putting a lot of time and effort into social media. Because if you're on it every day and you're doing like what I'm doing right now and just like creating the content the day before or the week before or even the day of, it's like it can get pretty exhausting. You can get burnt out pretty fast because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a ton of work.
I think B-roll is also something that is pretty easy to collect, but you have to remember to do it.
What did it say?
B-roll?
Yes.
Yeah, like I try to like put my phone out my window while I'm driving and like get the shots of, and that's where I get a lot of like my nature shots, is like me driving with my phone out my window, and it's great. But like, how often do we want to see the same thing over and over again?
You'd be surprised. I feel like I'm following a lot of like now because of this account, I'm following a lot of people who make content, and they're like, this is what you got to do, and use this trending audio, and this is how you collect B-roll. And it seems like really easy, actually. Like, maybe not to be like the most like amazing content creator, but just if you want to create anything, it's actually not that, it doesn't seem to be that difficult.
And I don't think it has to be perfect either. Like, I've seen some with multiple hundreds of thousands of likes, and the audio is off of the captions. Like, it's not perfectly aligned, and people focus so much on that, and I'm guilty because I'm a perfectionist. But like, it like you can get the likes without it being like perfect.
The value of the content is more important than the perfection of it.
Yeah.
Because 100%. I remember I tried doing like a day in the life of a real estate investor. I tried doing that a few times. So I had to like bring my pod. I have like this tripod with me, and I had to bring it with me everywhere like those 2 days. And it was a lot of work, but I did get a lot of good content where I did post like a day in the life kind of thing. But also I was able to reuse those videos for future content. And I was like, oh, this is nice. Like if I like just need like a reel for that day, or I haven't gotten because I try to post 3 times a week. If I only have 2 and I need 1 more, B-roll is just like the easiest content to put out there. And it's nice because you can just still put out such important messages with it without having to spend, an hour creating it.
Yeah. You know what trend I'm really sad that I had to miss because I don't live near any of y'all is the we're da-da-da. Of course we do that. Like, real estate investors. Of course. I'm like, damn it, I want to do it, but I don't have anyone to do it with.
I have been seeing those. Those are hilarious.
I love the trend, but I'm like, I can't do it by myself. And I'm going to be like, hey, Dad, take my phone and just film me. But you better walk right.
No, oh my God, you can totally do it. You just have to like find an environment that looks the same. So like if we all go to Target and just go in the middle of the freezers or something, like that looks super generic.
Target is?
Oh no.
It's 100 miles away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. When I tell y'all I'm excited to move to Dallas, I'm not lying.
Oh my gosh. How do you do it?
Technically, so one of the Targets is 100 miles away, and then the other closest Target is in another state.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I bet you're happy that you're moving to Dallas.
I'm in BFE, baby. But yeah, I agree. That could be something. Are we too late on the trend, though? Because it's been a couple weeks.
I don't know. I mean, I still see him posting up.
I still do, too.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, Vina Jetty just posted one, too.
Who did?
So, Vina Jetty, she does, like, multifamily
right.
investment.
Oh, I haven't seen hers yet. I'll have to go watch that, too.
She did it with 2 other people. One of them's Rosie. I can't remember the other.
But she was by herself, and then she had, like, a cameo at the very end. So
really?
You could just do
she must have done
it for yourself?
I can't do it by myself. I just don't want to.
No.
I want
don't do it.
I wish you lived closer.
Yeah.
No, and I'm just moving further away, honestly.
I'd go to Target with you.
Perfect. Just come to Dallas and we'll go to Target.
Okay. I'm booking my flight tomorrow.
Perfect. I mean, there is a big ass meetup February 21st for sub 2.
I know. I saw that. I think that lands, because I actually thought about when I saw you that you were going to February. I was like, oh, I wonder if I can meet her. And so I looked it up, but it lands. So my W-2 job is I work 7 on, 7 off. So I have every other week off.
So nice.
I know it makes it flexible to what oh my gosh, I can't talk. Stupid Mercury. But I just had a brain fart.
It makes it nice because it's flexible.
Oh yeah, it gives me a flexible schedule to where if I ever need to fly to like a different state for like real estate investing, or that's kind of where my mindset was. Like I have the ability to do it because I have every other week off right now. And I work evenings, so I have my mornings too. But I forgot where I was going with that.
It probably that it lands on a week that you're working.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got you. You don't even have to say it. I know.
The meetup landed on one of my weeks on. But I'll double check because that would be really fun.
Yeah, I love it. If y'all, I mean, like, tickets aren't that expensive, right? But
I think so.
They might
have to check.
But I mean, from the sounds of it, the last Texas meetup they had with Pace there was 600 people, and it's gonna be more because Pace bought Aspire tour tickets for all of sub 2. So that's what I'm going for. He's speaking at it, and then we're gonna have to meet up the day before.
How cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, super cool. He does shit like that all the time. It's crazy how much he gives away.
13,000 members. Oh my gosh.
He's like, I don't know. I just cut a check for 600,000. Okay, cool. Casually, you can write it out to McKenna next time. Just kidding. I'm gonna go make my own 600,000. I don't need no man $600,000.
I love that.
Ladies, I have to leave because I saw my sister's watching this live, and she's probably like, why is she not walking her dog now? So
that's okay. It's been like an hour and a half, so I'm probably...
Yeah, we should probably go. I don't think anyone's gonna...
We've had some pretty consistent people, so thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for everyone who hopped on, and thank you guys, McKenna and Alex, for taking the time to talk to me.
No, thanks for hosting this. This is awesome. Let's do it again.
We'll contact about our podcast.
Yes, and about our JV deal in Oklahoma.
Yes, we're going to do that. 100%.
I'm super excited.
And we'll find a fix and flip in California, Alex.
Okay, perfect. Love it.
Make some dough.
All right.
All right. Have a good night, ladies.
Bye. Thanks, you too. Bye.
All right. How do I quit out of this? Let's see.